Hey, good morning. I'm Patricia Murphy. It's Tuesday. This is Seattle Now. Smoke season has arrived. In a minute, air quality scientist Phil Swartzendruber from Puget Sound Clean Air Agency will tell us what you need to know to stay safe. But first, let's get you caught up. A bill in the U.S. House of Representatives meant to protect salmon could ease restrictions and make it easier to kill seals and sea lions. Washington Representative Michael Baumgartner introduced the Northwest Endangered Salmon Predation Prevention Act earlier this month. It's getting a hearing in the House today. The bill has bipartisan support as well as the support of Northwest tribal fisheries. Opponents argue it could increase violence toward marine mammals. It's Fleet Week, a great time to head down to the waterfront. A parade of ships, including Coast Guard, Navy, and Seattle Fire Department vessels, will move into Elliott Bay starting at Pier 62. Get a peek inside during public tours tomorrow and Thursday at Pier 66. It's all part of Seafair season in Seattle, with more events, including the Torchlight Parade and a flyover by the Blue Angels, still ahead this summer. And heads up, important note, a bat found near the University of Washington has tested positive for rabies. Public Health Seattle and King County says the bat was discovered last week on University Way Northeast and tested positive over the weekend. Health officials urge anyone who may have touched the animal or come in contact with its saliva to seek immediate medical advice. And any pet owners whose animal may have come in contact should head to the vet. We're back with more headlines on tonight's episode of Seattle Now. Get ready. Forecasters predict it's going to be smoky around the Puget Sound area for at least the next couple of days. It's also going to get hot. There's a heat advisory in effect starting today. Matthew Cullen is a meteorologist with the National Weather Service in Seattle.
It does look like once we get through about Wednesday or maybe even early Thursday, we'll have a shift in the pattern back closer to normal with our high temperatures in the upper 70s to near 80.
Until then, Seattleites can expect warm temperatures and smoky skies. Phil Swartzendruber is an air quality scientist with Puget Sound Clean Air Agency. He's here now to help us understand what to expect and how to prepare for smoke. Phil, really appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thank you. Glad to be here and help out.
These fires didn't just show up today. They've actually been burning for a few weeks now. Why are we just getting the smoke? What's changed?
Yeah, that's a great question. We've had fires in eastern Washington and in Oregon and Canada, but fortunately the winds have been blowing away from us. And as the weather patterns shift around, the winds change inevitably, and now they are coming for us.
Where's the smoke coming from?
This time it's from northern Oregon, northern central Oregon, and also eastern Washington.
Okay. What should people expect in the next few days?
The sky is probably going to be pretty hazy. Fortunately, most of the smoke is going to be higher up. We're not expecting as much of it on the ground. It should be moderate, but you still may smell some smoke. There's a chance that there's some places where the levels could get worse than moderate for a short amount of time, but we're hoping that it's only going to be temporary for those, and overall, it will be moderate.
Who's likely to see the worst of this?
It's a little tough to predict because we're kind of right on the edge of where the smoke is traveling. And so it's sort of like being at the shore where a wave comes in and then the wave goes back. And if you're standing in one spot, your feet might be dry. And if you're standing somewhere else, your pants might be all wet. So it's hard to say exactly where.
Okay.
I will say, though, that the Cascades are almost certainly going to have more smoke and be worse.
You know, I'm thinking back to a couple of years ago when things just looked like Mars out there. I know we're in the beginning of smoke season now. Are we likely to see anything that thick?
Well, we're likely to see some more smoke that's at least as bad as what we're going to have here or worse. It's pretty reasonable for us to have a period of unhealthy for sensitive groups where it's really hazy out there and folks need to take some precautions. So I definitely don't think we'll get one of those world-setting levels, but I definitely expect that we'll have some moderates or unhealthy for sensitive group times because it's summer, it's definitely dry out there, and there's lots of fires, lots of smoke being made.
Yeah, there are a lot of fires burning right now.
Oh, yes, for sure. I don't think it's quite record acreage, but there's quite a number of them, and it's hard to keep count of them all just in Washington and Oregon.
Has anything changed to make our wildfires more intense? I know it's been fairly dry, and most of the state has been in drought for quite a while.
Yeah, the biggest risk factor is the dryness, and the temperature helps with that dryness. So, we're going on multiple weeks now. Then on top of that, the heat itself, it adds to the dryness. So, haven't really had much rain in quite a while, so our risk is there, and it's only going to increase for the rest of the summer.
Yeah. As you mentioned, we probably won't see super thick smoke here in the Puget Sound region, at least not as we're speaking. What should we understand about air quality during this time?
It's important to pay attention to what the air quality is and what your exposure is going to be to that. And we encourage you to come to our website to learn more about it, including finding out the current conditions at a page we have map.pscleanair.gov. That has great maps showing what the current levels are down to the few minutes or the hour, so you can know what it's like outside. Also, it's really good to be prepared and think about what you might need to do if the conditions are really bad. So if you have asthma or if you have some other heart-lung condition like COPD, you want to be concerned when the levels reach unhealthy for sensitive groups and take some steps to limit your exposure. If you don't have a pre-existing condition, then when levels are reaching unhealthy, same advice for all of us as well, just to try and limit your time outside. Find some clean air places to go, filter, air quality filter or filter fan or something like that so you can take a break from it.
I have heard that if you have the ability in your home to have a clean room, that is what you should do. Can you explain what that is?
Yeah, this is something we definitely advocate for if that works for you. It would be a room that you can be in that would be at comfortable temperature. And this works much better it's easier to do if you have air conditioning. So you have a room and you keep it closed off and you have a filter in there or a filter fan that you can make and you run it periodically and that will keep the air quality in that space much better. And so you can take a break from the air pollution. And really, it's about your cumulative exposure to this over the course of a day. And so taking a few hours out of the polluted air definitely reduces your exposure, reduces that risk, and is something worthwhile to do.
If you're indoors and you really can't, help but open your windows, you should do what?
Yeah, that is a great question. So we're also facing heat, and heat is a real risk as well. Heat exhaustion, heat stroke can be a really serious problem. So you need to think about those too. Our first recommendation is to try and find a cooling center or a place that you can go, perhaps like a library. There are shopping centers or malls or other places, designated cooling centers that you can go. They can give you both clean air and cool air. And getting to one of those for a number of hours can definitely help out your exposure and help out your health. So that's probably the best thing to do. Otherwise, you're just going to have to do the best you can with fans and filtering. If you are also in a situation where you need to get outside, it's possible for some people that a filter mask, so an N95 mask can work, but you want to make sure that probably want to check with your healthcare provider and make sure that that's a good solution for you. Those can do quite a lot to reduce the amount of pollution that you're breathing in when they're properly fitted.
And we will drop some links in the show notes for listeners about cooling centers in the area that'll likely be open. A lot of people are out there recreating right now. They could be up in the mountains doing the Wonderland Trail or walking through the Cascades. How can people stay safe if they want to get out on nature while the weather is still good?
Oh, that's a great question. You really need to be aware where you're going and what the risk is, and you certainly don't want to be venturing out if there's a good chance that it's going to be, unhealthy or worse. If you're a healthy adult, you should be fine in unhealthy for sensitive groups. Yeah, you should be okay going out there. But otherwise, high strenuous activity is really a risk. And if you have to be out, if you need to be out, a filter is about the only option that you have at that point if it's appropriate for you.
Now, my Apple Watch will tell me what the air quality index is. Is my Apple Watch a good AQI indicator? Should I trust that even?
I've heard stories where the settings have been wrong and it has the person's location in a different state, or it has a different measure for how they're looking at it, a different average or a different aspect of it. And so I can't really vouch for that. We encourage people to check out map.pscleanair.gov for data that is specific to our region and that we're watching that and curating it and making sure it's most accurate.
And you have sensors all around the city.
Yes, we have a mix of sensors that we operate for our regulatory purposes. And we also have citizen samples, citizen sensors in there as well. And our program works to make sure we have only the highest quality ones. We don't include ones that are erroneous or having some weird readings or something like that.
All right. So you are the definitive source on the air quality.
Yes, yes.
Okay. What can Seattleites expect from the rest of the summer?
Yes, it's already hot and dry out there, and the risk of more fires is definitely there. We usually see fires under these kinds of conditions, and it can go all the way through August into September. So, unfortunately, I'm expecting more fires and probably worse and higher levels as the summer goes on. So, it's always a good time to be prepared and to think about what you might do under a situation where it's worse.
How often should I replace my air filters? Because I have 2 air purifiers, but they've been sitting around for 2 years doing their job now.
That's going to depend on the particular, manufacturer's instructions. For a general filter fan, it would be when you start to notice a little bit of color. You start to notice it's off color, looks brown, looks gray, or you see some other potential issue with it. It might be torn or something, or it looks weird or smells weird. If you're running it regularly, you're running it many times in the summer, probably every year is a good idea.
Phil Swartzendruber is an air quality scientist with Puget Sound Clean Air Agency. Really appreciate it. I know it's a busy day for you.
It is. Glad to be here and help out.
And thanks for listening to Seattle Now. Take a moment, rate and review the show in your favorite podcast app. And before we go, a quick question. This week, we're asking our listeners, have you changed how you eat because of the cyclospora outbreak? Tell us how. Share your answer in the KUOW app, open the menu, and select Talk to Us. More at kuow.org/question. Today's episode was produced by Anna Marie Yanni. It was edited by Caroline Chamberlain Gomez. Our production team also includes Vaughn Jones, Brooklyn Jamerson Flowers, Andy Hurst, and Paige Browning. Greg Kramer does our theme music. Seattle Now and KUOW Public Radio are members of the NPR network. I'm Patricia Murphy. Talk to you tonight for Evening Headlines.